Did you know there's a tribe in Pakistan where blue eyes are common, alcohol is freely consumed, and women have more rights than in the surrounding regions? Let's explore the hidden world of the Kalash people, where ancient customs and modern freedoms create a unique cultural tapestry. The uniqueness of the Kalash tribe extends well beyond their physical attributes. What if I told you that married women in this isolated valley enjoy greater freedoms than they do in many Western nations? The tribe's distinctive courtship customs cast doubt on all of our preconceived notions about traditional communities. A ritualistic courtship that may seem alarming to outsiders is observed by the Kalash tribe deep within the Hindu Kush mountains of Pakistan. Envision a society in which voluntary kidnapping serves as a means of proposing marriage. You did really hear correctly. In Kalash society, a man announces his intention to marry a woman by arranging a meticulously planned abduction that is mutually agreed upon. Despite being unexpected, this behavior represents the social dynamics and ideals of the tribe. Following the first abduction, the pair lives together for 2 months before going back to the woman's family for an official wedding. During this time, they can get to know one another better and make sure that they are both dedicated to the relationship. However, the proposal of marriage is not the end of Kalash women's freedom. Kalash women enjoy considerable agency in choosing their spouses, which contrasts sharply with the more restrictive traditions in other regions of Pakistan. They have the freedom to select who they want to be with, and maybe even more unexpectedly, they can file for divorce if they don't feel satisfied in their union. In the area, women's autonomy on this scale is practically unheard of. The Kalash tribe is unique in that they let love and individual decision determine a couple's union, in a society where arranged weddings are frequently the standard. The Kalash have a high divorce rate, which is further indicative of a society that respects personal autonomy and encourages flexible relationships. These customs support the Kalash community's particular brand of gender equality. Women are viewed as equal participants in the decision to marry, not as commodities to be exchanged or negotiated for. This dispels a lot of myths regarding tribal societies, particularly in conservative areas. Interesting considerations concerning the nature of tradition and progress are brought up by the Kalash approach to marriage and relationships. Although their customs may appear peculiar to outsiders, over millennia they have naturally evolved inside the tribe's culture. It serves as a reminder that social mores can differ significantly throughout cultures, and that modernity isn't always associated with what is deemed progressive. It's crucial to remember that there are difficulties with the Kalash way of living. They are a small minority in Pakistan and are under siege from the Muslim majority in the area. Their distinct traditions, which include their marriage norms, make them stand out and may cause miscommunications or disputes with their neighbors. The Kalash have maintained their own identity and customs in spite of these obstacles. Their distinctive religious beliefs, festivals, and artistic expressions are all part of their rich cultural tapestry, of which their marital rituals are only one part. The Kalash have been able to resist assimilating into the prevailing culture and preserve group cohesion because to these customs. The colorful traditions of the Kalash go far beyond their traditions around marriage. Have you ever imagined a place where music speaks louder than words, festivals bring enchantment to life, and garments convey stories? Greetings from the Valley of Fairies, where imagination meets reality in the most fascinating ways. When you enter a Kalash hamlet, you'll be encircled by a vibrant, living tapestry of culture. The women of the tribe are dressed in what is called Sufi, their traditional garb. These clothes are a colorful representation of social standing and cultural identity, not merely a piece of apparel. Imagine buttons, shells, and elaborate beadwork that are all moving and catching the light as they do. Every item has a narrative that reflects the wearer's position in this distinct civilization. However, it is during their festivals that the genuine charm of the Kalash culture is shown. 3 big celebrations, each with a distinct taste and significance, highlight the year. The Chilam Yoshi celebration, held in May, marks the start of spring. This happy occasion honors the vital role that women play in the Kalash society. Imagine whole villages uniting in a flurry of music. dancing, and color to celebrate the feminine spirit that sustains their society. The Ucha festival heralds the arrival of autumn as the leaves start to turn. However, the most important and serious occasion in the Kalash calendar is the Kamos festival, which is held in the dead of winter. This is not just any party. For adults who have mastered Kalash traditions, it is a rite of passage. As participants go through rituals of cleansing in preparation for this holy occasion, there is a palpable sense of expectation in the air. The lifeblood of Kalash culture is music and dancing, permeating every facet of their existence. These artistic mediums become prominent during festivals, acting as potent channels of expression. The Kalash convey love, bravery, and spirituality via their rhythmic motions and lyrical songs. It's a language unto itself, one that the heart, not the intellect, understands. The Bek ritual is among the most fascinating features of Kalash festivities. Young tribe members who have finished their time in isolation are able to reintegrate into the community through this ceremony. As these young people, who have been profoundly impacted by their experience, get ready to reintegrate into society, picture their enthusiasm and anxiety. It serves as a potent reminder of the social dynamics at work in this tight-knit neighborhood. Even with such colorful ceremonies, the future of the Kalash people is doubtful. If your entire civilization was in danger of disappearing, how would you respond? For this remote tribe, preserving their age-old traditions in a world that is changing quickly is a daily struggle. There is a lot of pressure on the Kalash to give up their traditional way of life and convert to Islam. Their distinctive beliefs and customs frequently cause miscommunications and confrontations with surrounding communities in a country where Muslims make up the majority. Because of the Kalash's liberal stance on alcohol, for example, they are the subject of criticism and attempts at conversion because it is in direct opposition to Islamic principles. Many Kalash people have zealously defended their ancient customs, including their animistic beliefs and behaviors, in spite of these obstacles. Their custom of interment outside is among the most remarkable instances of this preservation. In contrast to the typical practice of Islamic communities to bury their deceased underground, the Kalash bury their dead above ground in cemeteries made of wood. This practice reflects their ingrained spiritual beliefs and represents the soul's release from the material world. Kalamun, the language of the Kalash, is essential to maintaining their cultural identity. This language, which is Indo-Iranian and is not written, has only been transmitted orally throughout generations. Kalaman is a living archive of Kalash wisdom and philosophy, full with proverbs and beautiful expressions. Because it contains subtle cultural elements that are difficult to transfer into other languages, the language's survival is essential to preserving the tribe's distinct identity. The Kalash have an oral tradition that goes beyond their language. Elders are essential in perpetuating the myths, stories, and traditions that strengthen ties within the community and guarantee the survival of their distinct way of life. These stories teach younger generations spiritual beliefs, historical information, and cultural values, in addition to providing entertainment. But there are serious and urgent problems with modernism. Many young Kalash are tempted to abandon their ancient customs due to the appeal of modern lifestyles and economic pressures. The tribe is always having to strike a tightrope between keeping their culture intact and adjusting to the ways in which the world is changing. For the Kalash, education is both a chance and a challenge. Although it creates new opportunities, it also exposes the next generation to external factors that have the potential to undermine customs. The community must integrate modern schooling while preserving its cultural identity, which is a challenging undertaking. Another double-edged sword is tourism. It increases awareness of the Kalash culture and provides much-needed economic benefits, but it also runs the risk of changing their way of life and commodifying their customs. If the flood of tourists is not controlled, it may cause cultural eroding. Notwithstanding these obstacles, the Kalash community continues to be tenacious. They take great delight in celebrating their festivals, using their native tongue, and upholding their customs. Many Kalash, particularly the younger ones, are coming up with creative methods to interact with the contemporary world while maintaining their cultural traditions. While some are striving to write down their oral traditions for the first time, others are utilizing social media to share their culture with a worldwide audience.